We like to call it the Supernatural Hour. And now, our hosts.
Welcome, welcome. We are podcasting again. And how is everybody? Everyone just said, we are great. All right, awesome. So, next to me is...
I'm Tim.
And Chad.
Well, I went to my mom's house.
Well, well, tell us about your mom's house.
All right, so my mom's house. So on our last podcast, we told you about the investigation that we did at my mom's. Well, I saw her a few days ago, and she said that since we were there, she has actually noticed some activity. Now, and a lot of people might go, oh, big deal. You know, there's activity in lots of houses. You got to remember, my mom, love her, is kind of anti-ghost haunting your house person. She believes in an afterlife. She believes you can see spirits, but she's always kind of been more on a, more religious kind of a bent there. And just to think that someone's house is haunted with strange ghosts hasn't really been her thing, but she's warming up to it. So when we saw her, we went down for something. I don't remember what. Oh, my niece's graduation. We had a little barbecue. And she said, you know what, after you left, and there's just her and my dad in the house and two cats, but she said, I'll hear rustling, and it's not cat rustling. She'll hear paper rustling. She's heard footsteps. She said that she actually has seen shadows or, movement out of the corner of her eye. And so we have to give a big shout out to my mom. We're starting to turn her around. She's starting to be a believer.
Well, that's cool.
So do you want to tell us about the one that you went on?
Yes. So I was getting bored, sitting around working and doing nothing. Decided I needed to do an investigation. So I called up my friend Corey and said, hey, can I come down to the family tree?
Oh, fun.
And she said yes. We went down there. It was just the four of us, which was kind of cool. I've never investigated that building with that small of a group before. I've done small groups, but about 7 or 8 people. Never just the four of us. And it was actually really fun having that small of a group because you have less possibility for contamination on evidence, especially when you're all in the same room at the same time.
Right.
I know some of the issues we've had in the past where we're in the basement and there's people upstairs moving chairs around and stuff like that. So if that had happened this time, it wouldn't have been someone living because all of us were in the same room at the same time.
Right.
So one of the cool things that happened, and I actually have a video of this on my personal Facebook page. I don't know if you've watched it. It is on the our Secret Lair page as well.
So I haven't watched it. I saw it there, and I couldn't watch it at the time, and then I forgot about it, so I need to go back.
So you can hear from me kind of what happened in this video. And it starts off with you hear Dave saying, can you do something? Can you knock on a wall? Something like that. And then Derek says, do you know shave and a haircut? And knocks on the table doing the first part of shave and a haircut. And right after, we have one of our EMF meters. It's not the K2. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but it's one of those ones where it makes an audible beep when it detects EMF. So right after the shave and the haircut, you hear beep, beep.
Oh, awesome. Now, if you don't know what shave and a haircut is, most of you probably do, but it's the da.
So shave and haircut, 2 bits, right?
Yep.
So it gave us 2 beeps right after he knocked into shave and a haircut. We wanted to show that it wasn't us setting it off, and it's not like a remote controlled device or anything like that. As far as I know, there aren't any K2s or meters like that have a remote control.
I've never seen one.
So we wanted to show that it wasn't us knocking on the table because we have had instances where movement by one of us has set off a device. So Derek rapidly knocks on the table again, and then I have him do the shave and haircut again to show that it wasn't us knocking on the table to set the device off. And it didn't go off again. It just did it the first time, which I thought was really cool. I know there were several parts throughout the night where I actually... in the video, you can see my laser grid pointing towards the camera, and it kind of makes things blurry. I wish I knew that beforehand. I know in the future not to point my laser grid in the same direction of my camera. But the reason why I had the laser grid up is because I actually saw someone sitting in a chair right next to Derek. I saw them stand up and start walking across the room.
Oh, awesome.
And so we put the laser grid just to see if it would happen again. After showing the video to Peaches, come to find out the spirit that I saw was actually standing on the right side of the room, away from the laser grid. So there was
like,
definitely
ooh, laser grid. Ooh,
there was
gross.
yeah, pretty much. So there are some spirits that try to avoid cameras and stuff like that. I think that he was trying to avoid the laser grid, but it was confirmed that there was a male spirit in the video. Whether or not he's the one that actually made the device beep, we don't know. But it's kind of cool to see that we had a device actually respond to our question. I did see several apparitions out of the corner of my eye that night. I saw one walking down the sidewalk. I saw one standing in the main side of the building. I know that when we first started investigating, Dell and I actually heard a woman's voice coming from the kitchen. There was 4 dudes in the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
There was no women, but we both heard a woman's voice. Dave and Derek didn't actually hear it. It was just the 2 of us that heard it. But it was audible. You can hear it. It sounded like there was a conversation going on in the kitchen. A female's voice.
Was it discernible? Could you hear words or just...
No, it was more of a mumble, but it was definitely a voice. Like I said, it wasn't just me that heard it. Dell heard it as well. I know that when we were in the basement, I saw some movement. It looked like people walking around in the basement as well.
Can I go back to before we move away from this? If you haven't had the opportunity to hear an audible ghost voice, I hope that if you're listening to this podcast that you get that chance someday. I've had it happen to me probably a handful of times, and it's awesome. So anyway,
it's very rare. I don't know. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've heard an audible voice, and I think this is probably 2 now.
Just off the top of my head, for me, probably 3, maybe 4. But that's that's been over the course of 8 years.
Yeah, I'm at
I've
like
been
6.5 years here, almost 7 years. So,
and some people might be a little more able to than others, so if you don't, there's nothing wrong with you. But I do. That is my wish for all of you, is to hear an audible ghost voice, because it's amazing. Anyway, continue.
I know I was using my iOvilus throughout the night. It's an app on the iPad or iPhone or whatever. It's not the best. It's made by Digital Dowsing. It's the same people that made the actual Ovilus 5 and 4 and 3 and all that stuff. What I thought was funny was I was actually trying to use my iPad as a mobile hotspot. I was trying to download an app on my laptop so I could use that as an investigation tool. It's called the Fanta Box. I've never actually used it. I bought it and never downloaded it, so I wanted to try it out.
You talk about it, but I've never seen you use it before. Did you like it?
So here's the thing. I didn't have it downloaded. I was trying to use my iPad as a mobile hotspot so I could download it. I was having problems getting the internet to work on my phone or on my computer. And as I was talking to Derek, explaining to him what I was trying to do, the iOvilus said, I think I might actually have it here, but it said something like object. Basically, when I was saying I wanted to do it and downloaded it to try it out, it more or less told me no. So I was just kind of like, okay, I guess I'm not going to try it anymore. So it actually said cannot. When I was trying to download the app, I said I'm going to try to download this app, and my iOvilus popped up, and Deanne can actually see it right here.
Yep.
It says cannot.
It says cannot.
So I took that as a sign, and
then right underneath it says object.
Yes, it does say object. It does say geek twice. It says agent, crash, spin. My favorite is, and this one pops up quite a bit, Legion popped up as we were talking to Lucy in the basement.
Well, that would make sense. Oh, they were thinking about me. It says shoes. Look at that.
That one was from a while ago, but it does keep a log of the stuff that you've heard. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I think we were like, oh no, we were talking about going from the banquet room over to the main side of the building. We're like, let's go check this out. We haven't been there yet. Let's investigate there. And as we were packing up to leave, it said enjoy.
Oh.
So I don't know how accurate this device is. It's just or this app is. I don't really trust apps all that much. Sometimes I do get relative or pertinent information to the investigation at the time with the app. I use it more of as just kind of a fun thing to set up to see if I can get anything.
Right. We've used them before in investigations, and a lot of times it'll throw out words. You're like, pizza,
Yeah,
fireplace.
but pizza's always good.
It is, as long as it doesn't have pineapple in it.
Oh.
We won't even go there. So, and a lot of times you get these random words, but it's been interesting because we've been on, I think the last time this happened was when we investigated the chiropractic office, and it was just kind of spitting out some random words, but every once in a while it pops one out. And it's interesting because you could say, oh yeah, if it's just doing random words, eventually something's going to be relevant, but it'll be relevant right when you ask a specific question. Suddenly it'll be relevant, and it's like, I don't think that's a coincidence necessarily. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't put my full faith in them, but I've had enough things happen with those, with words that fit exactly the question you've asked, that I don't know. I'm still on the fence.
But we did have other stuff in the basement. Like, I don't know if you've seen my EMF meter that has, it's like a green backlit, and then it lights up red and beeps when it detects EMF. It's not very sensitive. It's not as sensitive as a K2, so it has to put a lot of EMF in it for it to light up. And every now and then, while we're sitting in the basement...
Is this the one that you guys built, or is that a different one?
No, this is one I bought from Ghost Stop.
Okay.
It has temperature on it and everything, and while we were in the basement... every now and then I even asked it at one point. I'm like, can you make it go up to 1? Because it would just sit around like 0.2 milligas.
Right.
I asked it to go up to 1, and like right when I asked, it went up to 1.
Oh, nice.
And then every now and then it would hit like 3 or 4 or 5, and it would light up red and beep. And the only time it ever did that was while we were in the basement. It didn't do it anywhere else in the restaurant.
So Lucy was playing with you a little bit then.
So, I mean, overall, it was a fun night. From the Family Tree restaurant, we left his camera running in the basement while we were on the other side of the building. And he got audible, like, crashes and stuff moving around in the basement. And like I said, we were on the main side of the building, so there was no one even over on that side of the building.
Awesome. And if you haven't been to our websites recently, you need to go. We've done some updating, changed some pictures, gotten some more information up there. So... wisps.org or advanceparanormal.com. Go give those a look-see.
We're going to jump into our Stone of the Week. This week I have picked the Chrysanthemum Stone simply because it looks cool. And
it looks really cool. It's kind of like the one that I'm looking at is black, and it looks like it's got a white firework that it's like looking up into a black sky with one of those really pretty fireworks that just take up the whole sky.
So yeah, the colors that it normally comes in are going to be brown, but where the chrysanthemum flower-looking thing is actually gray and white. So it's a combination of colors. Now the reason why it was named the Chrysanthemum Stone is because it looks like the flower, the chrysanthemum.
I would call it the firework stone.
Apparently, this is readily available, and it comes from China, Japan, Canada, and the U.S. Now, some of the attributes of the Chrysanthemum Stone is that it drifts gently through time, facilitating time travel. It exudes calm confidence and enhances any environment with its gentle presence. Radiating harmony, it synthesizes change with equilibrium and shows how the two can work together. Now, this stone helps you enjoy being centered in the present moment and encourages the self to bloom. It inspires and energizes and brings endeavors to fruition. This stone teaches how to remain childlike, fun-loving, and innocent while on a spiritual path, and also providing a way to further your self-development. Strengthening character, it overcomes bigotry, ignorance, narrow-mindedness, self-righteousness, and jealousy, and encourages showing more love to the world, which in turn brings more love into your life. Mentally, this stone counteracts superficiality. It adds depth to thought and guards against distractions. Now, with the Chrysanthemum Stone, the bigger picture can be perceived. Emotionally, it brings stability and trust, eliminating resentment and animosity. Now, this stone promotes physical maturation and transition. It treats the skin, skeleton, and eyes, and it is a useful stone for dispersing toxins and dissolving growths. When using the stone, you want to wear it, carry it, or place it in the environment. Use it as an elixir, but make by the indirect method of placing the stone in a glass bowl within the bowl of water, otherwise the flower is affected. So basically, don't put it directly in the water, just put it near the water. Okay. If you're using it as an elixir.
Well, we don't want to affect the flower.
No, it's going to ruin it, I guess.
Well, we don't want that.
There's a lot of stones like that. Some stones are poisonous, so don't put it directly in water. Do your research on a stone, or ask me before you put a stone in water if it's okay. I actually have a water bottle that I bought that has a little screw compartment on the bottom for you to put your stones in, and then you screw it back on, and then it's just underneath the water, and it doesn't actually ever touch the water.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's what I use when I'm energizing my water with my stones.
I'm going to have to get one of those. So guess what I did? Guess what I did since our last podcast?
Homework? Research.
No, I finally got...
You found stories. No.
I did.
Do you have some weird, wild stuff for us?
I do. I really do. I got my son graduated, got through school. I can breathe again, so I can be like a normal functioning podcaster that, does my job. So, yay.
What, we do stuff?
We do.
Okay.
So, here we go. I don't know what state this is from, to be honest, but drug addiction is a thing. It's a terrible thing, and if you're addicted to drugs or know someone that is, it's, we're not trying to make light of that in any way, shape, or form. It's a terrible thing. Get help. Kids don't do drugs. But there is a fellow in West Monroe. I don't know where West Monroe is. It's west. But his name is Michael Attenbury. He's 59 years old. And he called, and I can't pronounce this, the Wachita Parish Sheriff's Office, and he said, guys, I got stabbed in the head. And so they went out, and they got to his house, and they could tell that Mr. Attenbury was not acting quite right. And so, not only was he not acting right, he was not very calm about it. And so, they got him, kind of calmed down enough to conclude that he was actually not stabbed in the head. So they're like, okay, you're not stabbed in the head, that's good. But when they were on scene, Mr. Attenbury said, you need to search my house because I believe there's intruders in my home. And so the policemen, they're still trying to figure out what's going on. So they go in and they're searching the house, and they did not find any intruders, but they did find an open brown paper bag containing about 1 gram of methamphetamine. They also, after some searching, found a pill bottle which contained another gram of what they think is meth. But according to the official report, Michael stated ghosts placed the methamphetamine on him and then stated they were currently climbing out the window nearby, which was not accurate. So, so if you got the drugs in your house, the ghosts put it there. Apparently that's one of the new things.
So that's not a sound defense?
No, apparently not.
The ghost made me do it.
Right.
I'm going to try that, though. I'm going to call your brother next time I get in trouble. Like, I didn't do it. The ghost did.
So, yeah, I don't know where it came from. The ghost planted it on me. It's the ghost's fault. It's not my fault. So, yeah, that's the thing, apparently. Yeah, give it a whirl. See how that goes.
So when I'm standing on the roof of your parents' house shooting my salt gun into the portal, I can tell them that the ghost made me do it.
Yes,
I should be fine.
Don't call me for bail money.
No, I'm going to plead insanity at that point.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, that's interesting.
All right, so watch our website. So we are getting some updates on there, some fun things to look at. We found some new pictures just to make it look fresh and exciting. So go to our web pages, wisps.org or advancedparanormal.com. Also, if you or someone that you know is having things go bump in the night and you need us to come out and check that out, please give us a call, because we are doing small, socially distance, hand washing, sanitizing, being careful investigations again. So just send us an email, and we will get that taken care of.
Speaking of regulars that come out to our investigations, I want to give a shout out to Michelle.
She was actually one of the people I was thinking of.
I noticed someone was talking about doing an investigation recently somewhere, and she recommended our team and said we're one of her favorite teams to go and investigate with. Aww. So I just wanted to give her a quick shout out.
I actually saw that too.
And thank Michelle for being a part of what we do and keeping us going.
Exactly. So, and we have a lot of regulars. We can't name you all because we would get in trouble, but we name you every once in a while. And just know that we know that you're regular, we see you, and we love you lots. And if this is your first time, you should be one of our regulars so we can love you lots too.
Yes. Deanne will love you in the appropriate way. I might hug you and make you feel uncomfortable.
We will see you next time.
All right. Peace out, butterflies.
Have a good one.
You've been listening to the Supernatural Hour at AdvancedParanormal.com. The Supernatural Hour is part of the Radio Ronin network found at RadioRonin.com. Copyright by Advanced Paranormal Services.